So we already, there's so many, and we already talked a little bit about breathing exercises, and those can be easy to do, like the 4-7-8, or you can choose something that's a little bit more elaborate and longer duration. And there are all sorts of benefits associated with that. The other practice that I love, and I'm sure everybody heard this word, is meditation. And yes, it can change the way your brain functions. It can change even the anatomy of your brain. So whether you choose to read a book, go for a walk, take a hot bath, or do a little bit of a guided meditation or guided imagery, it really will work. People have this idea of having to be in a corner and, in this position for 40 minutes. And it's daunting, right? Especially when you don't feel good already, especially when you just had a chemo treatment in the morning and you feel just wiped out. But if you see it as just a way of stopping your brain, then I think it's easier and doable. And I just want people to, hey, listen to the music that you love, or find or go to the happy place in your mind. Whatever makes you happy. For most people, is the beach. For me, is the North Pole. It's we're all
Oh, wow.
different. Yes, yeah. I think for me, it's because I interact on a daily basis with so many people, and I take on that emotional um, energy. I just need that kind of calming silence, coolness. But for most people, it's mountains, beach, beautiful places. So meditation, guided, I'm sorry, breathing exercises, and then something easy like emotional freedom technique or acupressure points. It can help not only with the brain, but also with certain issues that might, have that during a particular day, like nausea after the chemo, right? Acupressure points are well known and beneficial for that, and it's a safe exercise that you can do wherever you are, um, and it's easy to learn. Um, what else? Aromatherapy using safe essential oils. It's also great, not just for relaxation, but also for helping with different issues, nausea, pain. So there's so many techniques, but I would say these are some of the easiest one to use. Will take probably a few minutes, and just really you will see, or people will see results with a cancer patient. Everyone should have some sort of art in their life, because I just think it's such an important tool that we all have available and we don't use it a whole lot. I think what you do in with Feel Beautiful today is amazing, because really it releases some of the good, calming, focusing neurotransmitters or chemical messengers, and that in turn will create a calm environment for the whole body. It changes how our brain perceives the sensory stimuli from the outside world. It changes how we react to them. So by doing that, I think it gives people not just a better feeling in their body, but also it helps them sometimes find a purpose, find a new hobby that they can use throughout their cancer treatment and even post recovery, find something that they can share with their loved ones, or maybe even help them create something beautiful for their loved ones as a thank you. Absolutely. I have seen, and I have a patient of mine whom I really, we became friends basically, but she's always so health conscious, but she had a demanding job, which she loved, but hey, your body doesn't know. And again, this is what also people want to understand or remember. Your body doesn't know that you love your job or your kids or your family. Your body only knows that it has to keep up with you. So this patient of mine, she had a great job but very demanding, and she's a very nice person, so she never ever took out those you know emotions and the frustration and the stress and the anger, because she was trying to make everybody feel good. everything, so she kept everything inside. And years later, when she developed cancer, and we, you know, sat down and talked, and we went over everything that could have been a risk factor for her. She said, Dr. Dana, I really honestly think that chronic stress and keeping everything inside me, it was what triggered this. There's nothing else that was obvious other than this. And you know, honestly, I believe it. I do believe it. I really think with COVID, it's just 19. Everything got so much worse when it comes to cancer patients. From, you know, from them, like you said, being in isolation and missing some appointments, but also all the way to actually, you know, unfortunately, having the acute illness and having to deal with the whole storm of acute inflammation that happens with COVID. And what I've seen in my practice, there's so much post-COVID residual effect, you know, from the brain fog all the way to fatigue and shortness of breath and not being able to go back to the previous level of physical activity, that is really impacting people's lives. And when you already start with a, you know, weakened immune system, or already energy level that's kind of most of the time low, it is just, you know, unfortunately the perfect storm. So for people with either maybe post-COVID time, or who are trying to protect themselves from catching that, what we discuss about all of these therapies and going back to basics and look for help, it's even more so important. Everything that we discuss will apply to them. Everything that will keep your body and your brain calm and happy, and your immune system at highest level. And again, that goes with the chronic stress, right? Because chronic stress will impact your immune system as well. Everything that's in your power to keep your well-being at optimal levels, that's the best, I would say. That's the first step and the most one can do. So please apply everything that we discussed about. Please apply to this situation, because it will help. It absolutely will help. About how the brain can control, and in a good way or in a bad way, everything that happens in our body. And I want them to remember that sometimes we trust our brain a little bit too much, to the point where we found ourselves one day exhausted and not able to do one more thing from that list. When you get to that point, it's very hard to get your brain back in shape. I had this patient, a very intelligent man, who told me basically that he would rather do Sudoku in Japanese than to go back to his daily chores and to his work. So if that happens to anyone out there, and they recognize they reached that point, it's very important to look for help. It's very important to treat this seriously and learn how to kind of divert the brain from just being stubborn and in a way broken. Learn about all these amazing therapies that they have available these days. I think we're in such a great spot. You could go anywhere in the city and find something, or even learn it from internet. And more than anything, just to look for help. You know, with what you do and provide the patients with so much information. It's just by, you know, going through this information, learning through this video recordings, the guided meditation. Just take one step. Just do that. Anybody out there who listens to this and is just take that first step. It's don't believe your brain. Better days are coming. We just have to learn how to deal with it and heal.